You're here to receive a very special psychic prescription, much like a weather report, for how to best work and play with the universal energies that will be available this week. And that's from today, the 3rd of October, to the 9th of October 2020. I'm Kylie Savage Psychic, and this is the weekly Oracle card reading. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. And if you've been watching along for a while, then thank you. I would love for you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell so that you get notified of when these videos come out. How did you go with the full moon? It was Friday night, yesterday. I think what day it is for the Southerners. And it was amazing. This huge, big orange ball, rose in the east. And I asked my family about it, and they were out in a drive, and they could see the sun setting in the west and the moon rising in the east at the same time. And I know when I've seen that, and it's kind of special, isn't it? You need to be in the right surroundings to be able to see things like that happen. So that was full moon in Aries. I'm an Aries. It was particularly good for Aries people. And it's a cardinal sign. So I'm not sure. I was listening to Yasmin Bowen. I think she said it was good for Librans as well and Aries. I think there are a few cardinal signs. I'm not an astrologer. Can you tell? Anyway, so that's the start of a whole new lunar cycle. If you would like to know about moon manifesting, get in touch with me. I would love to show you how to do new and full moon manifesting. So we make our wishes at the new moon, and each new moon is in a different sign, and according to the astrology around it, there's different things we wish for. And according to what house that new moon is, then there are particular things that you can wish for. And then at the full moon, we do releasing and forgiveness ceremony and a gratitude list. And I love to burn my wishes. So yeah, I go and burn them very safely outside underneath the full moon. I like to have a bit of a moon bath, connecting with those beautiful moon rays and just, breathing in the energy. I also like to put a jar of boiled water out there to collect moon water, and that is how I make magical mists. I sent one to a friend a little while ago, and she absolutely loved it. So if you would like your own bespoke magical mist, only available in Australia, get in touch with me. And I make them with oracle cards, moon water, crystals, and intention. They're very, very, and essential oils, of course, because they smell amazing. They're very, very special, and each one is individually crafted. Lots of magic in that. Why would you use a magical mist? You use them as an aura mist, so to clean and cleanse your aura, to reset your energy, to relieve anxiety or depression, symptoms of them, to give yourself a mood boost. I use them in between clients when I'm reading with clients. So if you're a psychic working at fairs or anything, it's fantastic. You'll smell amazing. People will be drawn in by the beautiful smells, and the energy will be cleansed and cleared between each client. Very important when you're seeing a lot of clients in one day. If you have people come into your house, if you have a difficult phone call to make, or that you've had one, just any time you feel like you need a bit of an energy reset and boost, that is what a magical mist is for. They're terrific for that. Okay, I also use them for my Reiki and healing clients. I usually make the client a mist when they come and see me. If you would like to get in touch for healing, I do distance healing, and a few people can come and see me from my home. You can still book your psychic readings too. My prices just went up. So if you would like a full reading with me, it's $222. That's Australian dollars. And for a mini reading with me, it's $111, all Australian dollars. So you can have your reading via Zoom or via email, or if you're, within a close area to my home, then I will come and visit you. So let me know if you would like that. And my website is www.kyliesavage, KYLIESAVIDGE.com. And I have a new email address with the website, and it's just info@kyliesavage.com. if you'd like to get in touch with me. You can still go over and join my Facebook page. I gave away a free reading to a lady. Kim won the first reading, and now Donna has won the second. But there's one more free reading you can win from me. So I'm doing those via Zoom or email. Get in touch. On my Facebook page, which is Kylie Savage Psychic, there is a post pinned to the top. Go ahead and tag your friends in that and help celebrate getting to 500 likes, and you could win the last reading there. Okay, the other thing is too, I'm still technically on holidays, but I couldn't miss the weekly reading because I need it as much as you guys to give me some structure and guidance for the week ahead. But yeah, you can book for your reading from next week. I think so. Oops, next week, about the third week in October. I usually take every school holidays off. Okay, so now we get to that time where you can just pause. And if you're driving, please don't do this. If you want to, you can close your eyes. And I want for you to take in a nice deep breath in through your nose and breathing out, letting go out through your mouth. And I want for you to just intuitively choose a number between 1 and 6. Go ahead and do that now. Got your number? Now that's the number of the card whose message will just be a little bit more relevant to you and for whatever is going on with you in your life right now. And listen, if you ever have any questions about these readings, you can always get in touch with me. Sorry, just moving forward a bit there. Always get in touch with me and say, hey, Kylie, I've got a question about this or that. The other thing I had to tell you is Kylie's Oracle Circle on Facebook is up and running. That's a free Facebook group you can go and join. We have over 20 members now, so it's growing nicely. I like that it's a nice intimate group. We do hashtag daily pics, Thursday share, Friday freebies. It's all in the banner. It would explain everything. Go ahead and answer all the membership questions and you will be automatically added to the group. This week, I joined Colette Baron Reid's Oracle Circle membership, and I'm so happy I did. I was kind of on the fence. I'm like, well, I've been reading Oracle cards for a long time, and I love learning from Colette. And Oracle School is just a little bit out of my reach at the moment. I will be saving up for that though. But I had so much fun at Oracle Palooza. I loved it. We were there on Zoom and we did these breakout rooms and we got to, share cards and what our takeaways were from that and, our journaling and everything. And it was the first time I'd really worked in a group where everyone seemed to have the same kind of mindset and attitude towards Oracle cards, particularly Colette's Oracle cards. We were there for very similar reasons and motives. Our intention was to transform our lives using Oracle cards as the tool, the spiritual vehicle to get there. And there was just an energy with the people in those groups. And everyone I got to talk to, they were so high vibe. They were so real. They were so on it, straight into the work. And I call it the work. Because for me, being on a spiritual path is all about the spiritual work we do. It's a daily spiritual practice. And this is a way of life. So I just love that. And now I'm in Oracle Oracle Circle, and I just watched Spirit Jam, so Colette does readings there. I think it's closed. I think the membership's closed. I think she'll reopen it again next September. You can always email Colette's team and see if there's a wait list or if you can still join, but I'm pretty sure it's closed. So there's a Facebook group as well with over 1,000 people in it, but there's probably more people in the Oracle Circle membership. So yes, you get to do Spirit Jam, and in there is her whole course on this deck, which is Wisdom of the Oracle, which is the deck that Colette teaches with. And so she does a breakdown of each card and the card's message upright, and then in protection, and then the relationship message and the prosperity message, because there's 4 ways you can read these cards, which is why it's taken me, forever to get to know this deck, but it becomes a living, working part of your mind. You kind of live and breathe these oracles. And remember, at the end of the day, you are the oracle. But anyway, I'm really excited about that. I think you'll notice a change in my readings. I'll be bringing through everything I learned there, and seeing how I can apply it here for you and bring it into my own oracle circle in a very respectful way. But this is how, the message has, rides a greater wave and gets to more people, reaches more shores. Going for the beach analogy there. Anyway, so you've got your card. And the question I was asking was, how can we all stay in alignment, best stay in alignment with our highest good this week and have a fabulous week? Come on. That's what we want to have. And look, I really feel like the astrology is impacting these readings. We're in Mars, in Aries, and was Mars going retrograde? We've got Mercury retrograde coming up again. Check your lunar diaries and calendars for all the dates. Remember, it's different for the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, so I will talk about southern astrology. There's also a great podcast called The Water Trio. That's Alicia, Youssef, and I can't remember the other ladies' names, two other ladies, and they really deep dive into the southern astrology, which I love. Okay, so Yang in protection. We had this last week. It was the next right action to take, and now we have it as the anchor card. Now, why do you have cards that keep repeating? Because, like I've talked in lots of things, there are themes. We do readings in themes, we dream in themes, we have spiritual lessons, that kind of follow a theme. The synchronicities, the interactions, the actions, it's all thematic. It's, we might have isolated incidences and experiences, but usually everything's integrated and interconnected in ways. And that's why themes are really good to track and be aware of. Now, Spirit are giving us a theme by repeating these cards. And the theme is to really think about what we are trying to co-create and manifest. What are the actions we're taking lately? And what have we kind of driven? What's driving us? And because Yang, when it's upright, is all about the masculine force of action and creativity. So we all need Yang, we need the yin and the yang. And, all of these cards have a call to action. Colette was talking about that in the course, Wisdom of the Oracle. And so when Yang is in protection, it's saying, one, are we rushing something? Is our action, very erratic or forced? Like, is there not a lot of thought going into it? And the other thing is, what is it in particular? What are we doing? What's the action that we're taking and why? And you'll see in these cards, your spirit wants us to apply more thoughtfulness and to get more in the observer mode, to get our hands off a little bit more. Like I said last week, let go of the control stick and just say, Spirit, what would you have me, think, say, and do? What would you have me be? Because the other reason why I think this card has come up and what I'm getting is we're still, even with everything going on, we're seeing how connected we are, even though, a lot of us are in lockdown, we might feel that sense of separation. It's literally we've been sent home within ourselves to look at our own lives and look at how our own life impacts the whole and how the whole impacts our own lives, our individual lives. And we need to understand our co-creative vision can be used as a force for good, for the greater good, for the whole. So are we still being very self-seeking and circumspect? I don't think that's a word. Are we being circumspect? Is our focus too narrow? Are we looking too much about ourselves? We can't get sort of past the end of our own noses. And are we not thinking about the greater vision and how we can be this co-creative force for the good? How we can set our intentions and we can manifest things in the world for the greatest good? What is the vision, the greater vision we're connecting to, and what are we doing about that? Are we taking the right sort of actions, or are we in this kind of, the other meaning I get with Yang and protection is, are we, in a knee-jerk response to something? Are we being reactive and not responsive? there's another upside in that as well, is this could be action free of thought. So are we, behaving in very instinctive ways? Are we reacting or responding in ways like there was no thought, there was just the action? If you've ever been in an accident or in a situation where something dramatic's happened or someone's in trouble and there's kind of like no thought, you just act. Like the woman lifts the car off the baby, or I know for myself, like my sister's horse hurt herself, and I just went straight to the horse and I'd just learned about pet first aid, and I just put my hands on the horse's leg and stopped the bleeding. And the horse like just looked at me and turned around, walked straight in front of me and just stood there. Um, it's just there. When I look back, there was kind of no thought. I just acted. So just have a think. Is that what this card is saying to you? Because this is the theme for the week. This is the story in motion. We've dropped the anchor, and we have a 360-degree view around. And Spirit really wants us to just get in a different way of behaving, a different way of responding to life. And they want us to probably be a lot more thoughtful this week, or, be free of thought. And just pay attention. What are we giving action to? What are we co-creating and manifesting? Is it for the greater good? Are we using, those powers that we have for good? And like what's our intention and what are our motives? And let's just dig under them a little bit and have a think about it. And I really just get the hands-off message, because it feels like these readings are changing. It feels like there's something more in store here. And we just, if we just have a kind of tunnel vision and just keep thinking about what we want and getting, the show on the road, and we just block everything else out, I think we're going to miss the point. We're going to miss some opportunities, and we're not going to be awake to what else is going on right now. Things to think about. Okay, if you chose card number 2, it's actually I will change it. Sorry. If you chose card number 4, that's Porcupine Spirit. I've pulled 3 cards as qualifiers from the Spirit. Sorry, what's it called again? Yeah, Spirit Animal Oracle. I always get these mixed up. Isn't he beautiful? Porcupine Spirit. Okay, the other thing I did was, because I was thinking about spirit animal, and I was thinking, actually, you could do readings with spirit animal, and you could also bring in this book, which is by Dr. Stephen Farmer. He's been doing quite a few Facebook Lives lately. He's such a sweetie, very, very giving and generous person, and a bit of an expert when it comes to animals. I've listened to him play music. He's also a really talented musician. I saw him at Mind, Body, Spirit in Sydney once. Yeah, anyway, I was thinking you could pull the spirit animal oracles, you could pull a card, and you could journal and see what comes up for you. That's what I like to do first, because I look at these cards also as signs and symbols. So what comes up for me when I look at porcupine spirit? I know it sounds funny, but Grizzly Adams does. Because we don't have porcupines in Australia, but I loved Grizzly Adams when I was a kid. And you would see a porcupine, Ben, the big grizzly bear, would go along, and sniff out a porcupine, shoot out of there. And, or someone, in the Western would get the porcupine quills. They'd accidentally fall on one and have all the quills stuck in their butt. So we have echidnas here. And echidnas are rather a bit like anteaters with a really long nose. I think they're cuter though. And they have spines all over the whole body. And it's the same idea. They can roll into a ball and they can be protected from predators. They're always carrying this protection with them. The other thing is they're ground traveling animals, and echidnas eat ants. They eat termites, so they will put that long nose and this extremely long tongue into the termite mounds, and they're always poking at things. They've got big claws like porcupines too, and they will dig away at things to get to the goodness. Now, porcupine spirit here is saying time for beginner mind, and I really feel like this yang in protection and porcupine. So porcupine's qualifying yang and protection. And what it's saying is there's more goodness to be found. If we dig around, if we take on the message, as pausing and just getting our hands off and seeing what else could unfold, what else could we manifest. And perhaps if we are, going hell for leather and taking some sort of action in one area and being quite aggressive about it, if we recognize that and we pause and we stop doing that, we can get ready for what it is Spirit wants us to know. And I really feel like that is correct. I'm really on the right, in the right vein with that. There is something that we're missing, and if we pause, we will see it. And so, because Porcupine is qualifying it, saying, we've got to get in that open, teachable state. And I feel like we've got to be not so prickly. We've got to come out of our shells a bit more and, be a bit more curious and playful and prod and poke and, explore and see what else is out there for us. Okay, now if you chose card number 2, that's our next right action to take, and that is Serendipity, and it's in protection. And I trust that, these readings are making sense. And my mission is that they, provide practical support and assistance for you and for wherever you're at right now, wherever whenever you see this video. So I would love to hear about the feedback if that's what's happening. And I do really appreciate your comments. So serendipity is, it's another message to pause, to be reflective, and to be in that open, teachable state, and to not miss the signs, to really pay attention to the message of the signs. Now, I just want to quickly give you a note about signs. Okay, so I went and looked at a car this morning. I've been thinking about buying a new car for quite some time. And at the same time, I've just, practiced gratitude for the car that I have, and, really grateful that I have a car and that it's a good car and I'm safe and it's reliable and all the rest. And then, lately I keep seeing the numbers. These, I call them, well, they're my birth numbers, but it's the numbers 1979, which is my most remembered year, and my birth numbers. So 73 is a number that I'll see a lot. And for me, that's a good sign for my angels they're around. So what's the number plate on this car that I go and see? It's 73. Then when I was in the car, I noticed that a bit of the handle was damaged, and I touched it and I actually cut my finger. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit like, Snow White poking the needle, falling asleep. I felt like, oh, okay. So 73 is a good sign for me. So does that mean I'm meant to buy this car? Or poking my finger, being curious and poking my finger, and cutting my finger, it's like, oh, does that mean it's a bad idea? Don't buy the car. Is that a warning? So the thing is, signs are, they have context. And signs, they can't really be divorced from the context that they come in with us. We all have, like, say when you're dreaming, and if you dream of a butterfly, a butterfly will mean certain things to you. If you dream of shoes, a particular type of shoes, that will mean something for you. If you dream of a person, say an actor, that actor will have a certain meaning for you because you've had experiences and knowledge and you have background information, and you will bring all that to your understanding and interpretation of the signs. So when we talk about serendipity in protection, it's like, what if it's possible that the way you're reading the signs is incorrect? Or what if there are further meanings that Spirit want to reveal to you about those signs? There are things about that sign you didn't know. And they just really want you to stay, it's, as you said, so pause, slow down, be more open and teachable and be more aware. Because Spirit, I've been bombarded lately. I don't know about you, but I've been absolutely bombarded lately with signs. They're everywhere all the time, and it's like, why? Very, very vivid dreams. I just feel like so much is changing lately, and it's sort of like we're catching up to the new, whatever the new is. So, yeah, pay attention to the signs and get back into that flow. There is a flow, there are synchronicities. And when the synchronicities show up, that means you're in the flow. And when you follow them like breadcrumbs. Okay, if you chose card number 5, you got Bat Spirit. Isn't it a cutie? And because he's in protection, he's the right way up. So if he was upright, he'd be like that. I love them, and this actually looks like the bats out here. We have flying foxes, fruit bats, grey-headed fruit bats, which are really rare and endangered, and they're in a particular place and near houses, and the bats were there first, and they cause a lot of problems. But I'm like, I'm a bat lover. They also, spread viruses and diseases, but they also could be the key to the unlocking for vaccines of viruses and diseases. So very interesting creatures. And the rainforests regenerate. Only some species only with fruit bats eating the fruit and spreading the seeds. Okay, so bat spirit is a rebirth is assured when he's upside down. Okay, so same thing, but I feel like when he's in protection, it's like, don't be scared to kind of switch tracks. Don't be afraid to let go of what it is you want to manifest, because I keep hearing this or something better, this or something better. What you want or something better is on the way to you. So don't be afraid, and don't be afraid to feel kind of lost and rudderless. And this is what the signs are for, to help you course correct, get back on track and keep working towards your highest good. All those cards in protection, and we have 3 of them, are extra hugs from the universe, as Colette says, to help you course correct, navigate again and get back on the path for your highest good. So Bat Spirit is, don't be afraid. Maybe get some support, reach out to your social groups and friends and things like that. And people sometimes give you the clues too. And, if you share what's going on, your problems and whatever, they can give you insight, because sometimes we just can't see things. We're too close to it and we care too much about it, or we think we read all the signs right, but now we're not sure. So, we need a little bit of help with that. So bat spirits too, also they're very playful. They can see in the dark, things like that, but they live in colonies. They like to socialize. And I feel more of this calling to, what is our vision for the future? What is the action we're taking towards it? Are we taking the right sort of action? And is it for the highest good of all? For the greater, the greater good? Is it for this shared vision for our future? So think about that. Okay, thanks for staying with me for so long. I feel like I need a drink of water. I've talked for nearly half an hour. So we have orphaned in protection. We had this again, maybe I had it for myself as a daily pick not long ago. And this one is really when we are feeling very, very alone and very unsure of our future, very uncertain. And the other thing is too, watching that course at Wisdom of the Oracle, I don't know if you can see, but the fairy's got a mask on her face, or the ballerina, and she can't see. She can't see what's around her. She can't see, the trees, and as she said, the call to go to the circus with the banners at the top. And I call it, this is like the self-pity card. And it's like, the other thing is too, the message I got with this card, and you'll see why, because the 6th card that we have, you can feel lost and alone when you're changing track. And it's like, okay, I thought I was going to do this idea and I started down the track of that, and now I feel like I don't have the support for it. It feels like Spirit are encouraging me to let go, to pause, but I don't know what's next. And the other thing is, when you change track or you transform your life, you can feel very alone, and you can have this fear come up like, oh, I don't have a tribe around me for that yet. Like Bat Spirit saying, get the support. And you can feel like, if I change so much, maybe I'll lose the network that I have right now. I'll lose the connections that I have with people. And I have to make new friends, and I could feel, insecure about making new friends, and not have a lot of confidence around that. But the thing is, with orphaned in protection there, the message is saying, pardon me, it's okay. This is part of the transition period. And that's how sometimes you know you're in transition, because you're feeling even separate from yourself and from the old you. And that's a very important message, because the next card is 60 and it's Swan Spirit. And so if you chose card number 6, that's your card. And going back to orphan in protection, it's sort of saying this is a good sign. If you're feeling alone and unsure and insecure and you're being encouraged to do something or get out of your comfort zone, because that means you are course correcting and you are getting back on the right path and you are in this period of change and something better is coming. So I like that. I know it doesn't look very nice. It looks a bit grim, but I like that. Now, Swan Spirit, see, for me, when I get Swan Spirit, this is a huge sign for transformation. It actually symbolizes death. So if I was looking at for tarot, I would equate it with the death card or the transformation card, as in the good tarot. Now, Swan Spirit, they actually call it that. Like, I dreamt of swans, and I actually dreamt when people would pass, because then I would have a swan in my dream, and then the person the dream was about would pass. It's because swans sing a particular song when they're dying. Also, because the ugly duckling story, goslings are born rather ugly and then they transform into something beautiful. That's more the message of this card in this week. It's saying the good thing is coming, and yet you have to allow the things that need to die in you to die. You have to go through that, the dark night of the soul, that orphan protection. You have to have those feelings of desolation and loneliness and uncertainty. You have to travel through that kind of desert, that spiritual desert, without the support system that you thought you had. And you also have to let die your dreams, the things that we're carrying. I've seen this lately. Ideas that you are the person who is going to fix and change things, or things that you think you need to have in your life, that you want to have in your life because you feel like then there'll be a sense of healing and wholeness and completion. I've realized lately I've been carrying so much stuff and wanting things to change, and they're probably never ever going to change, but I'm carrying that. And I'm carrying the intention of it and the energy for it. And I'm praying for these people and asking for the healing of the situations. You know what? I realized. And so I let go of it under the full moon. It came up in my full moon releasing list and forgiveness list. Just forgive myself, for one, always want to be the peacemaker. And two, for doing that, for wanting things to be different from what they are. Because acceptance brings so much freedom and peace. And I'm like, what is it? Happiness is like the dirty one hot one night stand. Peace and contentment. That's like the long-term happy relationship. Like, when it comes to happiness, like, give me peace and contentment, satisfaction anytime. Happiness is, it's one of those fleeting things. If that's your goal, it's not going to build a meaningful life if you're only in the pursuit of happiness. There's got to be a lot more meat on the bones to create a meaningful life. There's got to be the light and the shadow. So, yeah, like, if you've been carrying things and you want things to be different and you realize that and you keep putting energy in those things, and, what if you just accept things are as good as they're going to get? Just let it go. And I say, for those full moon releasing ceremonies, put it in the goddess basket. Let it be her problem. And she can find a solution or not. Okay, so Swan Spirit. It does say on this time for a deep dive. So I feel like that too, if something does come up through this week or through this theme of that yang in protection, getting your hands off, waiting, listening for spirit, listening, being in that pause and the observer mode too, being in the world but not of it. Say, what's the something better? I'm being aware, I'm open to it. The thing is, like, once the new thing comes up, they want you to really get focused on that and to do a real deep dive in that. And you know what I really feel like it is about, like in this particular spread, is it is about understanding yourself as a co-creator, as a spark of the divine, as a powerful manifester, and using your powers for good, joining in, this higher vision for our future. Because there is just so much happening in the world, and it's like, what do you give your energy to? If you listen to mainstream media and popular opinion, that you'll give your energy to the drama, to the old things, that are tumbling down and dissolving. And I really believe like we need to more people to give their energy to what's new, what's coming in up under the surface, those new tender shoots. They're the things that really need looking after, and they need energy given to them. So yeah, a deep dive. If there's anything going on with you, if it's study, if it's a job, if it's a relationship, if it's the personal, spiritual path you're on, your own personal transformation and growth, then they're saying dig in and become very, very focused and get to know all you can about it. Do a deep dive on that. I trust that you are pulling something from these messages. That's also, going to give you some more guidance and clarity for whatever is going on with you, and assist and support you throughout your week and throughout the month. And many blessings on your month. Happy fall, as they say for the Northerners. Happy autumn. And bring on the rest of spring for us Southerners. It's been like 30 degrees here today and yesterday. It's hot. But anyway, I'm going to go out and enjoy a bit more sun and play with the dogs. Many, many blessings on your week. See you next time.